All right, what's up, Mike Weisman?
Pretty good, David. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. So we're gonna do a live coaching call for everybody watching today. Appreciate you being willing to do this and share something. And this is we didn't rehearse at all.
Oh,
It's so I don't even know what you're gonna bring up. So I will start off by asking a question of what's the biggest challenge? I mean, what do you think we should be talking about?
okay. Good question. So right now, definitely the biggest challenge is growth and expansion in a, handling it in a controlled way, but also in a way that also doesn't set limits. And, so you're always in that little bit of the edge right now where we're growing fast. As you know, we're a listing focused team.
Hmm.
We're essentially five agents. Two of us are listing focused. I'm the team leader, and then Ben is the other lead listing agent. And then we've got Ari, that's the buyer's agent, and then Rob is a licensed agent, does some transactions, but spends probably 80% of his time on our marketing. And then
Yep.
we're supported by two VAs. One is an excellent TC that's keeping everything together. We have about 18 pendings right now. And another one's a VA we just brought on that's going to be doing a
Sure.
lot of ISA work that's supporting us on the listing side. And she's on the phone right now, bringing in listing appointments. And so we're listing 10 properties a month on average right now. Our goal has always been ratcheting up, and now it's really, it's expansion. Two things. One is expanding the actual listing agents, getting more people to actually, producing agents. And then two is also my challenge as a team leader is keeping it together so that it functions as a team, right? And that it functions well because, every time we bring on a new person or we bring on the transaction count picks up, you get to this 8, 7, 16, 17, 18 pendings. Now there's, that many title companies and there's that many buyers and that many sellers
Sure.
and stuff is flying around. And and we're trying to bring on different systems, right? And keeping it so that nothing falls through the cracks. Closings are scheduled, deadlines are being hit, timelines are being hit. So the TC is doing great for that. The same token, she needs to be able to communicate with all these team members effectively too. So it's really two things. It's one is the infrastructure, making sure that grows and keeps up with, and then adding on to the actual capacity to do more business, take more listings, and then also handle refer out some buyers. I mean, the buyers, we
Sure.
haven't really focused
So,
on
so
buyers.
let's focus on those two things for now.
Yep. Yep.
um, so out of those two things, you said one is like infrastructure,
Hmm.
and the others, well, they're kind of the same. You had said expanding, getting listing agents, but then you
Yeah.
said keeping it all. I'm backing up a little bit, but then
Yeah.
you also mentioned infrastructure and in like kind of a system, which are almost the same thing, right? Like,
Right. Well, I mean, a big part of why we're able to be successful as listing agents and deliver is because I know when we go in to take a listing, what we deliver is head and shoulders above what they're going to see from 99% of any other agent out there. So, the communications that we maintain with them, everything from the marketing that we do for them. So the systems are important because they have to support that the agents in the field to make it possible to take the listings and then manage them and run with them. So they are connected. So you almost have to grow it seems like you have to grow your systems a little bit ahead of your agent capacity, but it always seems to kind of be the reverse in that the business picks up. We're very good at bringing in business. We're very good at setting appointments and taking listings. So we always seem to be in a little bit of the cart before the horse. Maybe that's the way that entrepreneurial, you know, element is. Does that make sense? Like we seem to always be a little bit ahead of the systems have to catch up. So
is it creating a system? Is that the thing we should be talking about today? Is that the most important thing? Is it
good question.
creating a system that you can
Well,
bring?
yeah,
Because listen, I think I just listening, and again as a coach, I sense there's all these different things
mhm,
you're sharing with
yeah,
me.
right,
So I think if we break it down to what's the first one that we
right,
need to focus on, because we can
right.
only do
Yeah. Well, I would
one
say
thing
it's
at a time, right?
sure. Then I would say it's recruiting the talent because
Well,
the
how?
systems will come. I'll farm
Well,
that out, right?
okay. So if we recruit talent,
Mm.
what are we recruiting them to?
Well, we have systems in place. Obviously, we have the TC stuff in place. We have the ISA support. All that is there. It's running at a probably stretch, sort of max capacity, maybe perhaps. But the systems are there. Um, it's like I said, it's really it goes hand in hand. But I do think that we need the talent to come in, and then that will bring us up. It'll take off some of the load that we're dealing with now as far as being overloaded with listings and as far as the agent count goes. And then it'll free up my time, right? Because right now I'm spending a lot of time managing listings.
But so you said bring in, we're not looking to bring in a listing agent. We're looking to bring in an administrator, right? Somebody that's going to manage all the listings. Or
Well,
did I mistake what you said?
um, I don't know that we need the listing administrator. I think my TC can support it as far as the transactional stuff goes. Um, but as far as the actual speaking to the other side, the co-brokes, right? Handling offers, doing the things that a listing agent does, I'm still doing a lot of. And if I can essentially, Mike Ben is coming along really well. And he's taken 10 listings in the last few months. His first only 4 months in, he's picking it up really well. But having another person on there that basically can really work on with the sellers directly, which is not going to be the business coordinator, right? Does that make sense? I lost you, Dave. You muted. Either I lost you or you lost me.
No, I'm good. Sorry about that. I had muted for a
Okay.
minute there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what on our team, we had someone that we called him a client care manager,
Mm-hmm.
and that essentially was the person that would talk to the sellers. Sometimes they would even handle price adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
They would talk to the other co-brokes, just make sure, they were kind of like the point person between the TC and then the agents,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then they were compensated a percentage of the transaction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How many agents did you have when you had that?
When we had that, she handled both sides, buyer and seller side. So we had six
Right.
salespeople and two admin and virtual as well.
Right. So right now we're really two rainmakers, if you will. It's me and Ben. So I think that person is going to be important to come along, but I also kind of think that I need more people to send out to take listings.
All right. So I
Right.
you're awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I sense you need clarity as well.
Okay.
And all due respect, because
Yeah.
we're going back and forth.
Right.
So is it the listing we need right now? And so are you saying if I just keep bringing in more listings, I will figure this out? Or do you want to develop a system
Mm-hmm.
ahead of time so that as you're bringing listings in, it's a smoother trend process, right? It's like building a 5-lane highway.
Right.
You may not need 5 lanes right now, but
Mm-hmm.
at some point, you're going to need 5 lanes, right?
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
so again, I'm going to bring you back to that one thing.
Mhm. Okay.
Is it or do you need my help with this? Is it the
Sure.
building the system first,
Mhm.
or is it because you're taking listings now, or is it finding somebody to bring in more listings?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's what you're sort of hitting at is, the intersection of essentially where it's hard to distinguish that, right? And it's kind of like when you're in the jar, it's hard to read the label. I mean, you're in, like a joke.
I've heard
So
that.
I'm in the jar right now, right? So I spend my mornings. I mean, we were on one of your calls yesterday morning, right, with all the guys. We're making calls. I set an appointment this afternoon. It's so I'm still very much the person that is taking the listings, making the appointments. Ben is getting better at it. He's staying on his own now as well. Okay,
You're
there's
in the
more listings.
weeds.
What?
You're in the weeds.
Yeah, there's more listings that we can be taking. We have support in place, right? We have TC in place, and it's I don't want to overcomplicate it. It's not that it's that complicated, but I have a photographer. I have a marketing person. That's Rob, who's like pretty much full time with the marketing support. So yeah, I mean, the question is, which way do we want to expand it now? Leading with revenue. I guess that's also what I think of as well. Bringing on more agents allows me to lead with revenue, and then up the capacity on the support side.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's almost like a catch-22, if you will. That I want to lead with revenue, as well as bring up the all the systems, kind of at the same time. you know,
So, all right, and I'm obviously taking notes here, but
yeah.
as so I guess the question to ask yourself is, are you at your capacity right now with taking listings? Right? I think of it as the road, same thing as we talked about the highway metaphor.
Hmm.
Is it a 2-hour traffic jam every morning? Does the road need to be extended, or can the traffic still keep moving?
Hmm. In
Right?
which capacity, in which regard? The potential to take the listings
Yeah,
or
to take the
manage the listings?
listings. Yeah. So if you're at a place now where you're taking it, bringing in a listing, and then all of a sudden you have to stop doing what you're doing. You have to stop generating for more listings,
Mm,
help with the team to get the listing through and all that stuff. So it slows you down, right?
mm.
Is that where you are?
Then, from the point of view of which side of it, is it from the operational side or the sales side, the front end side, the taking the listing side?
What does it matter? What side?
Well, in other words, like for example, I set an appointment this morning. It's about 2 hours if I have to drive it. I'd rather someone else go out and take that listing instead of
Yeah.
me spending 3.5, 4 hours of travel time to take the. It's going to bring in, let's say, 6, 7 grand of revenue, so it's worth it to bring in the listing. Another agent would be better suited for it. If my gut feeling is that what I want is more agents to plug into the the paradigm that I've already established, to train them to do what I do, to take the listings. I can relatively easily scale it up. I mean, building the systems is something that, let's face it, we're not building the space shuttle here. It's all been built before. We're plugging in a lot of systems that already exist, SkySlope and things like that, stuff EXP gives us. It's there. So we're not inventing anything there. But the unique part of my business, and I think that our skill set is, we're very good at training agents, like I trained Ben, to go out there, have that confidence, and take the listing, knowing how to find these people, also generating tons of leads. So all that's in play. So I think if I had if it's door number 1, 2, or 3, like we're playing, which do you pick? I say bring on the talent, and then I will find a way. We will support them. If I can train the talent, then this team will grow and expand, and we'll dominate the market even more so. Does that make sense? Is that more direction we're looking for? Or?
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I
It's
understand, but
what
does
you're
it make
looking
sense
for.
from the point of view of your questions you're asking and make you think, which I think is obviously.
Well, so I think you don't you want first off, we talked about this last week. Have you created your mission vision for the team, your USP, like all that? Has that
Um,
been done yet?
not specifically. We was just a couple
Okay.
days ago on it. Yeah,
So
Tuesday.
so that would be the first step, because
Right.
in order to find somebody
Mm,
that's going to join you, you need to be 100% clear on who that person is and what the value of them joining is.
right.
So that really is the first step,
Right.
getting that done. So I know our call is Tuesday, so
Mm,
by Tuesday you're supposed to have that done. So it's
right.
you're not behind
Right.
yet, but yeah. So just something to think about over the weekend, like
Yep.
who is my listing specialist or this person.
Right.
But then the next question is going to be, okay, you get this person, they get to work, and are they going to get bogged down because they're bringing stuff in, and then all of a sudden there's nobody to help them move it to the next phase or stage.
Mm, right.
You have support to help
Yeah,
them with
that
that.
support, that I feel confident that we'd have, that we could, that the support is there. like I said, the systems just make things. I mean, I'm a systems person, so I'm always thinking like that I can improve things. But the basic functionality is there. The basic functionality is for sure there. But I'm always looking to streamline it and improve it. The basic functionality is there, and the way we take the listings. So that, looking for that right person, I think, is definitely the focus right now to increase the sales side, someone that actually take the listings, bring them in, hand them off, manage the relationship, but everything else is taken care of. That I feel comfortable we can grow that and scale that.
So how many? Okay, got it. So we're gonna put that first then.
Mm-hmm.
Step one is so your thought process is you'll let the highway. I mean, you're not gonna let it stop, but you'll let it slow down before you start to expand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's already slightly expanded over what we need theoretically in capacity. We're just integrating systems on sort of as we go, but we've already got, I needed one VA, I hired two. So I'm already like, one is getting up to speed. So we've already kind of over capacitated ourselves in that regard. It's just, I'm still expending a certain amount of brain power making that work, but Rob is as well, on his side
Okay.
too. So, but we definitely are a little bit over on manpower. We're good.
Okay. So we need to hire an agent, right?
Yeah, at
So
least
that's
one.
number one priority. That's what we've been on this for, I think, probably 15 minutes.
There you go.
All right. And now, okay. So what's the next step in doing that?
Well, I think you said it. We said it on Tuesday. We're sort of picking up on this middle of this call, but it is really being clear on who that person is and what our value proposition is very succinctly, and be able to articulate it in a very clear terms, right? And that translates down to, how much they're going to get paid to do it, and what they're going to get for their, because it's for them, it's an investment to join the team as well, investment of their time and of course of their percentage of their revenue.
Yeah.
And I always, I think one thing that holds me back, David, to be honest, is that I want to feel really confident that any agent I bring onto this team will make more money with less effort than they would on their own. And so I'm always of that. That's how I looked at teams when I first got into the business 2 years ago. And I didn't see it in a lot of the teams that I was approached by. So I didn't see that.
So let's dig a little deeper on that. So you find it, who will, I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this question. You hire somebody to join your team. Will they make more money? Will you fulfill those dreams or promises or vision that you brought to them?
Well, I mean, the short answer is yes, but I want to feel the degree of confidence to present it that way too. And that's part of making sure that we're creating a win-win for that other agent.
But so then the deeper question is going to be, will it be you that fulfills it, or will it be them that fulfills it?
Well, it's a partnership, no? I mean, what way? Which side of it?
You're right. It's a partnership. But the reality is they're going to show up. They got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can support, you have the system, you have the experience, the knowledge, but they have to put in the work.
Right.
So I'm going back to what you said, you don't want to let anybody down.
Right. I think that might be more.
You don't let people down unless you hire the wrong person.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
What were you going to say?
No, I think it's what you're saying is spot on. It's more the, it's like it's what some people call like an upper limit problem. Have you ever heard that term before? I forget the name of the book that I was just, it's called the upper limit problem. We all hit it at the glass ceiling, where when you get ready to expand out, some people might call it an imposter syndrome or upper limit problem, where right, it's a mental shift, right? And that you need to be able to shift into the next, go into a higher gear, if you want to stay in the highway analogy, right? If you stay in fourth gear and you redline the whole way, you don't have an overdrive, you ain't going any faster. But a lot of that, the fifth gear maybe be there the whole time, no one showed you where it was, right? So, and that's what you've been able to do for us till now. Let's face it, we've been coaching with you for almost 5 months now, 4 or 5 months, and we went from taking a couple listings a month to 10 to 12 a month. And I would argue that with not argue, but it's pretty clear. I mean, you're kind of coaching. You didn't get in here and like make phone calls with us. You basically focused us, and so you basically showed us gears, right? A new pattern that we could shift into and apply what we had, right?
Yeah.
You always tell me you did the work. So I
Let's
think
not make this call about me though.
I
I
know,
want to make it about
but
you.
that's kind of where I'm at. I think where I'm at now, if as you're reflecting it back to me, it's like part of that is a limiting belief that I want to make sure that the person I plug in here will get what I think they will get, and then maybe it's just a matter of doing it.
So thank you for that. So how do we do that? Let's say there's three things.
Mhm.
I wrote them down on this piece of paper.
Right.
Now I could tell you as a consultant would tell you what those three things are, right? That's the difference between a coach and a consultant. And I like to be a combination of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'd like you to kind of, so what are the three things we need to get in place before we hire this person?
Well, the vision, right?
Yep.
Right. The vision of what we want to achieve together. Very clear who that person is, right? The attributes of that person.
Mm.
That's gonna be able to
A lot of
fit
people
that vision.
I'm sorry, a lot of people refer to it these days as your avatar, right? It's
Avatar, yeah, right.
Yeah, who's
Sure.
the avatar, right?
The avatar,
Okay.
the avatar of the person, and that's who they are, how their work ethics, and what their expectations are, and so the vision that they can buy into, just like any a very clear vision.
But yours too.
Right. That's our vision. Right. Our vision as a team, and make sure that that's consistent with what they want to something that they can grab onto, and go along.
Just one thing we got really smart on at the end of my team career is we would used to hire a lot of people and then we'd bring them in, and then after bringing them in say, hey, by the way, our team gets together every morning and makes calls for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And some people will be like, well, hold on, I don't want to use the phone, like I'm not making and like it took me years to figure out that before we bring anybody in, they need to know that that's how we operate on our team. And I'm not saying all teams operate that way, because there's a lot of teams, most teams don't.
Right.
But on our team, if you're going to join our team, we get together every morning at 8 a.m.
Right.
We role play, right? We get together, we have a huddle, we role play. Then 9 o'clock, we're on the phones.
Mm-hmm.
That's being on our team. So we got smart.
Right.
And we started letting people know that even before we sat down with them sometimes.
So would you call that making sure they have like the expectations, like our expectations?
100%. Yeah. 100%.
So we have like expectations is one of the key thing, what we expect.
Setting expectations.
Setting expectations. We have our vision of our team, right?
Yep.
And then we have being clear on the avatar.
Yeah. Also, you have an org chart.
Yes.
So so sharing your org chart, Mike.
Yep.
With them, so that when they come in, they're like, wow, that's impressive. Right. Like, because the org chart, you're telling them, you're showing them, but then when you show them the org chart, they need to see in the org chart that there's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Right? Because that visually shows them that this is more than just some idea that somebody's throwing out at me, but there's actually a plan built around it.
Right. As a business.
And you have the org chart, which is great.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, and we have some empty spots on it now, which is so we I think what we kind of have the to a certain extent, we have the avatar. The vision needs to be worked out. The vision is the org chart is a graphical repetition of the vision, but it's not putting the same type of language, as you will. It's not expressed in the same way.
So here's something a quick exercise we used to do years ago is, so if I said to you right now, what are the 3 essential things that everybody who joins your team must have, well, at
Mm,
least in the listing capacity? As a listing agent on your team, what are the 3 must-haves?
mhm.
I'm asking you that.
I mean, as a personality or just as a capacity? Um,
Whatever.
yeah. Um, they've got to be, you know, essentially really good problem solvers, um, really empathetic to the to just to working with people, make good relationships, people, good relationships, strong
Okay.
relationships. They have to be, um, want them to be very cooperative to work with. Our team is we pride ourselves on that. And that when we get with co-brokers, we want to make the co-broker's job as easy and as seamless as possible. We're going to be firm but fair. We're not going to give our, we're going to represent our clients, but I don't want, we're not looking for the agent that's going to, you know, be the guy that no one wants to work
Sure.
with. So that, so I think that will go a long way. And, really strong work ethic, no doubt. I mean, someone that
Okay.
really, and also someone that wants to, become really successful. Also, really looking for growth, right? I mean,
Okay.
there's always room in every organization for people that just want to take a few listings or do a few deals. I think that's fine down the line, but this person that's going to come in now really has to want to be growth oriented and, really make something for themselves and make something for the
So,
team.
so I wrote down relationship-based problem solvers,
Right.
strong work ethic,
Yep.
and growth mindset.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which of those, so when I think problem solvers, I think, um, oh God, I'm trying to think. What is a problem solver in your mind? Let me just ask you instead of what I
Problem
think.
top of my mind is someone that um, does not necessarily take no for an answer when something doesn't seem to be going their way. They don't back down, meaning they'll find a way that is a win-win for whoever's involved with it, right? If there's a way to solve that problem, as opposed to just saying, oh, they walk away when the going gets tough, they walk away.
Yeah.
Right. Have someone that really can that has this, stick to itness and realize that there's, at our core, that's what we are. We solve people's problems. So
All right. Awesome. So right there, you just came up with it.
mm,
Did you write those 4 things down?
relationship growth mindset, problem solver. Yeah.
That's who you need. That's who you're looking for. Which one now, if I show up or John Smith shows up,
Mm-hmm.
which ones of those are you willing to go without?
Of what we said, relationship growth mindset, problem solver. What was the fourth one I said?
A strong work ethic.
Okay.
So let's say someone shows up, they're relationship based, they're problem solvers, great mindset, but no work ethic. Is that okay?
Probably not.
Okay.
I can show
What
up.
about their relationship based problem solver, strong work ethic, but no growth mindset? Is that okay?
Um, no, I would say not. I would say
Okay.
probably what you're getting at here, someone is not a problem solver yet. That's more of a learned, that can be a learned skill set. Relationships would be probably the number be the work ethic is going to be the number. Work ethic and growth mindset are tied for one or close to it, right?
Because you can't teach work ethic.
Correct. That's what I found. People, they show up or they don't. You can't teach work ethic. You can't teach people to be motivated. I can teach you to be a problem solver by expanding your skill sets. I can help you become a better problem solver. I can even help you get a growth mindset to a certain extent as well. But relationship person, that as a people person, that's also very hard to teach. I think that's a little more baked in. So I think work ethic and relationship are kind of baked in, that they're that type of a personality. The growth mindset, people can, I think, um, come into a little bit stronger if they see the opportunity. They might be able to
So
develop
how
that.
about, so I'm going to stop you there if it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, sure.
If I were you, I wouldn't sacrifice any of them.
Okay, I'll go with that.
I would say if somebody shows up,
Right.
there's your filter.
Right.
I have a filter on my wall over here. It's been
Mhm.
there for years. There's 5 values And whenever I do anything, I go into a business I look through all the 5 values.
Mm-hmm.
All 5 have to line up, or it doesn't, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
It's a
Like that.
filter.
Yeah. It's like Ray Dalio principles. It's principle based.
Yeah. So you have your 4,
Right.
right? So, let's say somebody shows up and, maybe yeah, problem solving, if they're so great in other area, but
Right.
maybe they're not a great problem solver,
Yeah.
could they learn? Possibly.
Yeah. It's also
But
something
for
you
the
can't test for that. I mean, it's
yeah,
not. I get it. Yeah. It's
well,
not
you
as
you can give them
can. Yeah.
tasks. You
Right.
can
Right.
give tasks to
Sure.
do, right? Because the reality is there's some people that are really good at doing tasks, but once something comes off of the regular motion of the task, they're clueless. They're like, I'm not real. Or there's people that do tasks and they're not even sure why they're doing them. They're just doing them and doing them and doing them, but they don't understand the bigger picture as to why. So if you don't understand the bigger picture as to why you're doing something, it makes it very difficult to be able to make any adjustments. Like I want someone, Mike, that's going to come to me and say, you know what, we've been doing this for a couple of months, and I actually think if we did it this way, it would be better.
Mm-hmm.
To
That's
me,
right.
that's a rock star.
Yes. Right. Right. And that's exactly what I talk to my TC about all the time now. She's been doing it. She'll when you see something that could be done better, innovate. Or I'll just say I want all the agents to know when they have deadlines. So figure out a way to do it this week. I want, you know what I mean? And that's working. Right.
All right, awesome. The other thing, what I think we're running out of time,
Sure.
is you need a team contract. Do you have one?
We do.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. You want a good, strong contract in place as well,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
so that all the expectations are set up ahead of time, and
Right.
then if there is ever a time where you need to separate, then that's all clear.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome, man.
So what's the next step for you then?
The next step is to, well, like our homework from just a couple of days ago, Tuesday, is to get that team vision statement set up there, so we know what someone can buy into, and then create the avatar. We just said lay it out right there, but actually is to write out almost like to write out the missing persons report, they call it, right? You've told us they call it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's an old
so
term from
put it you know put it in language so it can be, and then you can start sharing it and post it, and that's not being proactive the same way we're proactive to go take listings. We said, I don't know, today's what, right now it's Friday about by noon, and we've set 2-3 appointments this morning and ready for next week. So do the same thing with the looking for the right person, try to find them.
That's it. Put that time in.
Yeah.
So the next step then, and we can worry about that after.
Mhm.
You're going to show up Tuesday with your vision,
Yep.
your org chart,
The avatar.
and your avatar.
Yep. And
All
hopefully
right.
some candidates soon. So
Was this a good use of your time?
amazing. Yeah.
What was the biggest takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is well, certainly we nailed down that. I mean, even though I knew who this person was, and I've got it written on paper, I've got these 4 key points here, right? So I can articulate who that person was, who the person is, the expectations division, the avatar for us to actually know, what we have to basically draft out. And the biggest takeaway is that once you have all that down, then that upper limit sort of problem I described in the beginning really just goes away, because now you shift to the next gear and you go forward. So it gives me as a team leader the confidence to know, now that I've got all this laid out here, here's what you're going to plug into, find the right person, plug it in, and just accelerate.
Yeah. Yeah. So my takeaway is we're not going to expand the road yet. We're gonna find the talent first.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. So let's focus on that. So next time we speak, that's going to be our conversation. We're not going to talk about the road. We're going to talk about the talent.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Awesome.
I appreciate it, David. Yeah. Thank you. As always.
Thank you, man.